wild Mustangs is really different from training domestic horses. The horses are wild rather than used to people and pushing people around. When starting a wild Mustang, it's really an opportunity to showcase talents that you usually don't have to with other horses. Rather than being able to walk up and halter a wild Mustang, you have to work on that horse approaching you and accepting you first. It's a challenge that I really like to take because it makes me a better trainer by giving me less to work with right from the beginning. I'm Willow Newcomb, and I gentle wild Mustangs. So I started training Mustangs when I was 13 years old when my grandparents got me my first Mustang named Amazing Grace. And she taught me so much. And from that point on, I was basically hooked on the breed. I decided to go out and try to find some shows for the Mustangs and ended up stumbling upon a competition called the Extreme Mustang Makeover, where trainers were given 100 days to 120 days to gentle and train a wild horse that would eventually be adopted out to the public. So when I showed up to pick up this mare from the Litchfield Corrals, I was surprised to find a horse that had just been in an accident, and so she had some injuries that she needed to overcome before we began training. The first day that I could, I had my vet come out and see her, and he gave me some medicine, gave me some advice that I needed to get in there and act fast to save her. Training was put on hold, and we began doctoring this mare back to health. First of all, the biggest priority was to take care of the back leg because the infection risk was real high. So as soon as I could get a halter on her and wrap that back leg, she was going to be looking a lot better. Now, getting up to a wild horse to doctor them is not easy. We spent the whole first day just trying to get acquainted with each other, and this mare really understood that I was trying to help her, which was really nice. And by the end of the day, she still didn't have a name. So we sat down, my grandparents, my brother, some friends and I, everybody who'd been working on Patches, and we had tried to come up with a name for her, and the name that suited her best was Patches, because one, because of the coat and the multicolored patches that she had on her, and then number two is because we had to patch her up from beginning to end, and we had to take a horse that was broken to start off with and take her to the competition in good health, ready to be adopted. So I took the suggestions from some friends to open a fundraiser for Patches, and the overwhelming support was incredible. There were so many people throughout the United States that wanted to see Patches get better, and that was really encouraging for me. So after we were able to get Patches through this rough spot in the road and get her back into good health, training finally began. Although we were 3 weeks behind the rest of the competition, where other trainers were starting to ride their horses and take them on trail rides, I was finally able to stop wrapping my horse's back leg and start getting her into the round pen for some real work. So Patches was a little slow to catch on to the whole training schedule at first, but as soon as I started asking her to do patterns and routines and things for her to look forward to, she really turned around and ended up being the most phenomenal horse yet. When working in the round pen, I'd ask her to do things and give her an opportunity to wait and to think through each step of the way. And by allowing her this time and not forcing her to do things, she was really a lot more willing to work for me and a lot more willing to do what I asked of her. So the Mustangs as a whole are very fulfilling and enriching for people because they really force trainers to connect and bond with the horse at the most fundamental level, where it isn't always the easiest thing to do. Out of the 8 Mustangs that I've worked with, not one of them has been mediocre or nasty. And for that, I really appreciate the breed as a whole because they're consistent. And Patches is a great ambassador for the breed itself because she's a willing and trustworthy riding partner. There are things that I would do on her that I wouldn't do on any other horse. For instance, taking her for a stroll through the pastures without any halter or a saddle or anything on. I wouldn't do that with a lot of horses, and with Patches it just seems like something that's normal because she tries to take care of her rider. She's truly a horse that I would trust with my life, and that's what I really look for in a horse. And the Extreme Mustang Makeover does a really good job of encouraging that with the Mustang makeovers, because they're taking good horses, giving them to trainers who are looking for a challenge, and then later on adopting them out to people who really understand and accept that wild horses do belong with us today.